Hello and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. Welcome to those of you watching live on Twitch, and if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to join us live. Well, not next week, because unfortunately, but also fortunately, this is the finale of Inquisitor, our Mutants and Masterminds 40k fun show. Yeah, fun show. That's what we're going to go with. Let's go around the cast and crew, say hello, and find out who we're playing today. Jason, how are you doing?
Doing just fine overall. Can't complain too much, and even if I could, I don't think it'd help. Just Jason, please, on Twitter, and playing Vasily Taltos, Incinerant, and humble servant of the Emperor in this, the finale of our exploration into the grim darkness of the far future. I've got a sword in my stomach.
Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That exaggerated metaphor of a thorn in the side, a sword in the stomach. Kat, how are you doing today? Last finale was a big one for you. How are you feeling about this one?
Oh, I mean, I'm hanging. My janitor's hanging upside down from the ceiling, facing off with an Eldar and cackling like a madman. It's gonna be fun. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? I could fall out of a tower into a lake of acid, or I could fall into the stasis field where the two artifacts are. There's a lot.
Oh no.
We'll see what happens.
I'm scared now. I wasn't scared before, but now I'm scared. Hope, are you scared?
Oh, I'm terrified. Hey everybody, Pope World Build on the Twitter, World Build on the Twitch, playing the most overworked, overworried Inquisitor in the far future, Kifkin Severus Dracon. So when it comes to finales, the only thing we've got running based upon my personal history is there's no chandeliers and there's no dance floor. Because there's probably demons, and that still doesn't bode well. Well, let's see what happens.
I got
the one who does know.
In last week's finale.
Oh, that's very cool. I've always wanted to do the chandelier swing in a game. The person who does know was in tonight's finale. Bastian, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. No demons here, at least. We'll check. No, not yet, at least. Unless maybe someone opens the door again and we'll find some demons. I'm doing great. It's hot again, but it's doable. Still doable. Looking forward to today. We've had quite some nice episodes and really looking forward to how we end this season. So, yeah. And you? How are you?
I am good. I'm like raring to go. I'm very excited. I always like playing Matilda, especially now it's the finale. Get to go all in. Maybe she'll be more helpful this time around than she was last time when she did very little. Although she did get the mind mammoth on the go last time. That was a lot of fun. Last scene running through the corridors, so we will see where she ends up. But before we do our recap and get into that, I'd like to remind everyone of our sponsors. There is, of course, the Spy Game, a 5e compatible spy game with espionage, action, clandestine organizations, and more. Go and check out their Kickstarter. It's currently fully funded, and there is a quick start over on Drive-Thru RPG, so you can try it out today. Also, Fantasy Grounds, our virtual tabletop of choice. All of the beautiful maps, rolls, and everything else you see is done using Fantasy Grounds. You can try that out for free at fantasygrounds.com. You can also get all of your miniatures from Wayland Games. Go to waylandgames.co.uk and get yourself a huge range of D&D, Warhammer, and 40k minis for up to 20% off of regular retail price. Cannot forget our wonderful sponsors, Tabletop Loot. If we hit 20 retweets, we are going to give away a set of their very cool dice. So go and have a look at that site. Check out all of those goodies. But there's one other thing that I should remind you about. You can interact with this game. You can donate to affect the game by donating Nat 1s, Nat 20s, Wild Magic Surges, and more, including the Table of Pets. If we do anything funny, if there's a dramatic moment that you love, please clip it. Mostly because I just like sitting and watching me pull funny faces like this one over and over again. But yeah, please hit that clip button so we can make highlight reels and more for Twitter. So, all of that said, Bastian, would you like to do our recap today?
Yeah, it's going to be short, but yeah. So last week we found ourselves on around Scythe, where they dodged a orc cruiser before heading off into an emergency jump position. And right before they did, they got ambushed by a Eldar vessel. They got shot. They got boarded. And one of the boarders was a warp stalker, as they go by. Basically, a Eldar on steroids who can shadow step right behind you. And in order to get back 2 artifacts that they have on their ship, they fought back. We found Vasily in a corridor, fighting off, trying to shut off any escape, getting gravely injured in the process, and our janitor ambushed by the boarding party themselves. And right before Kifkin made Pope actually made a bargain with me, a devil's bargain. Kifkin wanted to get into the warp, get to safety. The Eldar disabled the stasis field that was around the two artifacts with the janitor. So that's where we find ourselves. The moment we hit warp, warp, not warp. It is warp. Yeah, it's not warp speed. De-warp. We enter de-warp. Well, the first thing I'm gonna do is check if this is a good. Yeah, this is a good action music. This is good action music. So we find ourselves in the engine room. Before we all hear the familiar sound of entering the warp, which is almost like you're entering a silent room for a moment. But then as soon as you're on the other side, everybody can feel something of a big explosion, an impact. It's 20 seconds after actually entering the warp. And the standard power goes off and emergency lights go on as the ship is cloaked in almost darkness in most hallways. There's red lights everywhere, and the janitor still finds herself in a room with 3 Eldar, I believe. One of them fighting heavily with you, the other 2 grabbing for the artifacts. So let's start there. Well, let's start on the bridge, and then we go to the janitor. Because on the bridge, we find Kifkin, I believe.
Yep.
Hold up together with Donnie. Where was Matilda? Can you remind me?
Matilda had left the bridge and was on her way down with gun in hand, and maybe sword in hand as well, to go and help the rest of the ship, as we could hear fighting.
Okay.
So she's running around the ship somewhere.
Yeah. And before we go to Kifkin, Vasily was on his way to the janitor, heavily wounded, and will arrive there in quite some time. Kifkin on the bridge.
Yeah, Kifkin not too long ago had ordered the secateurs that they had picked up from the Forge World to engineering to help advocate and secure engineering. Now, having hit warp and feeling that explosion, Kifkin hits his microbead. Vasily, report!
I imagine the first thing, like, as soon as the microbead is activated, you just hear a wet, hacking cough. Yes, Inquisitor.
Status report.
Personal or ship side?
Yes.
Alive. Breathing. More than most, I suppose. Lost a few men. Eldar on board. trying to
Okay,
dislodge
look.
whatever's on the side. Go into outbreak cases.
Belay that. No, Vasily, you hear me. Listen to me. Find anyone of who's injured or healthy. Get them and yourself to the Medicaid deck. You hear me? And you hold up there. You do not get to die today. You hear that, soldier? You do not get to die. Not until we get out of warp.
I haven't heard that before. I will take my hand off the microbead and I'll continue on the path that I was going toward, but I'm going to keep an eye out for any stragglers or survivors, and then tell them to get me to a med bay as soon as possible.
Okay. As you...
Matilda,
oh, sorry. Go again, Kivkin.
Matilda, status report.
I am looking to see where the fighting is, Kifkin. She's running.
Belay that. No, I need you to protect the navigator. We need to be able to get out of warp. You make sure that tea-sipping fella doesn't die.
I don't like it when you say no to me, Kifkin. But she diverts towards the navigator's room.
If
Alright.
he bites it, we don't get out of the warp. Donnie, go protect her and him. Albuquerque's status report.
Case is
yeah.
still fighting the Eldar. Yeah.
Yeah, so what you hear is the sound of bolter fire, maniacal mechanical laughter, and things crashing.
Shit. And that's a good place to cut away from me.
Yeah. So let's first go to the janitor in engine. Well, in the engineering deck, right in front of the engines. You're still fighting this warp stalker.
Yes.
And two others.
And the janitor's goal at this point in the fight is to breach the suit of the warp stalker. He's flooded this room with a pathogen that is hopefully extremely virulent and extremely lethal to the Eldar, and so the goal is to breach the suits.
Okay. Well, the two Eldar that opened up the stasis field, they are still they're actually grabbing for the artifacts. Yeah, and I believe you put one servitor in there to rig to explode.
Yep, it's gonna blow up in their face.
Yeah, you can roll me a technology for that. See how well you prepared that explosion. It's not too high. That's a 13.
16, yeah, 16 total.
16 total is enough to force them to have to roll against it. One of them notices just in time, and he ducks, leaving his partner exposed, who is cut off clean in half, his legs falling down. And then it's your action. Let's take it from there and just alternate.
Just sweeping bolter fire at the warp stalker and at the intact Eldar down by the.
Yep. Do you have multi attack?
No, but I
Okay.
thought it was an area effect, or is it just a single target?
It's just a single target, unless you specifically have multi-attack, in which case you can strafe multiple targets.
Okay. In that case, he needs to. The artifact, he can't let them get away with the artifact, so he'll shoot at the one that they'll shoot at the one that's survived the blowing up of the skull.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah, that's nowhere near actually. You fire at him, but he was so successful in dodging that he also managed to completely dodge your bullets. At which point the Warp Stalker that's in front of you, he tries to take one more swing at you. For a 14, I believe.
I believe that just hits.
All right. Then you can roll me a toughness against the effect 4.
Oh,
Yeah.
what are these rolls? It's trying to kill me.
Perfect. They're perfect.
Yeah.
All right. I'm looking at
So without me dying.
yeah, effect 4. You get an 11, right?
Yeah.
Then you take a -2 penalty and are dazed.
Okay.
And hang on, I'm just gonna liven up the scene a little bit. So the Warp Stalker, he takes a swing at you, notices he's injured you, and starts moving towards the artifacts in the same blurry fashion as before. Then at this point, the what's the name of the troops again?
The Secutors.
Secutors, yeah. The first Secutors reach engineering and open fire on the 2 targets. There's about 3 that reach it in time to have a shot. The first roll is against the Warp Stalker. The other 2 are against the regular Eldar. Against the Warp Stalker, easily misses. The other 2 shots rip apart the Eldar that was trying to pick up the artifacts. And that brings us back to you. Cleric. Oh.
Sorry, I'm having issues today.
Okay.
So, yep, Bolter again at the one closest to the.
He's dead. He's been shredded apart
he's dead? Okay.
by 2 Secutors.
Okay, sorry. So yeah, Bolt. Then he's gonna fire at the Warp Stalker.
All right. That's again not enough.
Yeah.
And being dazed, that is your only action this round. So the daze now fades. The Warp Stalker, he picks up both artifacts on his turn and starts moving towards the door he came from. The Secutors rush in, and now 4 of them have a shot on him. And all of them miss. That brings us back to you, Janitor.
We could use more help in here. Okay, that one didn't take for some reason.
I did.
Oh, there we go. Oh, Jesus. How did that one?
Yeah. You shoot at the... I'm assuming you're shooting at him, right?
Yeah, with the bolter, sorry.
With the bolter. You shoot at him, but you miss him, and by accident you hit some vital machinery which burst into fire.
Oops.
And the Warp Stalker makes it into the hallway out of sight, dropping you out of combat, actually. Unless you have some special means of pursuing him.
Just climbing along the wall at half speed, not wanting to let that out of sight.
Mm-hmm. With half speed, you're going to get one more shot at him before he fades out of sight.
All right. Come on. Nat 20.
Nat 20. That's nice. So with the Nat 20, you can do multiple things. You can add 5 to the effect rank, or alternatively, you can add extra effect to it, which is at a low difficulty class. But
okay, let's see. It's a damage 6, piercing, penetrating 3. So let's add 5 to that damage.
All right. So it's what's the total when it comes then?
Damage 11, piercing 3.
All right. Let's have him roll a toughness against that. That's a 6 plus another 6, giving him a 12. 12 against 11. That will give him a -3 penalty and make him staggered, meaning he moves at half speed. Which is so you can actually keep up with him now. You pierce him in the leg, and he's now dragging along his leg.
And
but
hopefully
he uses
he's coated with that. I was going to say, and hopefully he's coated with the aerosolized pathogen.
We're going to see how much effect it has and when. But he actually uses both his actions to get out of sight and tries to enter stealth. So you basically, I think you are just dazed, right? You lost your dazed last round, and you're at half speed because you were exhausted, if I'm correct.
Fatigued, yeah.
Fatigued, yeah, fatigued.
So can I do a perception against his stealth?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Yeah, we're talking, that's a 29.
You have a sense of where he's going. You can faintly hear some shifts in the air with your enhanced senses, and he is heading in the direction of the boarding ships.
I am going to fire in his direction.
He is around the corner though, so with your speed, with your speed, you will not get a beat on him this round. You can keep up with him because he's also at half speed by using both your actions on movement.
Yep, we'll do that.
Basically, you can chase him all the way there.
That's what the janitor is going to chase him all the way, and whenever he can get a bead, we'll fire on him.
All right, cool. Then several hallways later, Vasily, you're suddenly confronted with a perception check.
Good enough. All right.
Yeah.
How did it go? Yeah. 14 plus a lot. Hang on. That's gonna be a 24.
A 24. A 24 is enough that you can hear light clattering from the hallway ahead.
How wide is the hallway ahead?
It's wide enough for around 3 persons to melee combat side by side.
Okay. I'm gonna... Because I only know the general direction. I don't, see anything or whatever. I'm gonna take my heavy flamer and just aim it generally in the direction that I think whatever it was is moving.
Uh-huh.
So...
And do you fire? That's the question.
if I hear it, the sound is growing, like if it's literally like coming my
it's
way,
coming towards you. Yeah.
then yeah, as soon as it gets close enough, I'm just going to open fire and paint the whole hallway.
Janitor Albicasis, can you roll me a reflex?
I would be happy to.
And I will roll a toughness.
I'm looking where I'm trying to see what reflex is. That a dodge?
Reflex is a dodge, indeed.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Try and
You will have to roll me a toughness check against Vasily's Flamer's damage.
the
20.
okay, 20 and
Including the -2 penalty you picked up.
So 18.
Okay, and cone area DC 18, power 8 for a heavy
Power 8.
flamer.
Yeah. So with an 18, you only pick up an extra -1. As just before you were to round the corner, chasing the Warp Stalker, you are met with the gush of flame, which fills the hallway in front of you and a couple of meters of your hallway. Vasily, in front of you, though, you see a figure burst into flames in front of you. Almost out of thin air. It's as if the air around it was shifted, but now that you put fire onto it, you clearly see a contour which is now burning and crashes to the ground.
Oh, well, my apologies, Janitor.
As I rolled terrible on a toughness check with already a -3 penalty. So.
No anesthesia for you.
I see that I might have cinched a bit more than I bargained for. He'll go over and like stomp on the burning corpse, like angrily, and Albucasis, you will see that he's got. Vasily's not looking too good. He's got, I think, a -4 to checks. He's staggered and like has a sword in his gut. So, yeah, you see him just ignoring this.
Yeah. So I think Albicasis is going to climb down, retrieve the artifacts, and then pretty much kind of take Vasily by the scruff of the neck and drag him back to his lab where he can start treating him, or at least stabilize him.
I'm gonna like swat at the hand, like trying to maintain some sense of autonomy.
Yeah, no, there's a McAndrite just kind of dragging you along behind.
No.
All right. Let's head over to Matilda. Donnie catches up to you fairly easily. He's a good runner. And you were heading towards the navigator, if I'm correct.
Yeah, she diverted to go where Kipkin told her to.
All right. So the boarding ships were relatively close to the bow of the ship, on the right side, which is the starboard side. I don't know. It's there's stars everywhere, so I guess it's yeah. Do you pass by the boarding scene?
I imagine. Is that the quickest route?
It would be the quickest route, unless you specifically divert around it.
I think that's the route she'll take. She'll take the quickest route, but she'll be going cautiously.
All right. So as you enter the scene of Vasily's slaughterhouse last week, you find several dead bodies of Eldar. Some of them have been cut in half by what looks to be a giant chainsword, which you can recognize as the Eviscerator. There's also a lot of dead security detail here. And the hallway on the right, there's the bulkhead. There's a bulkhead which is closed. And as soon as you get close, you hear a loud metal knocking on it.
What is that?
Donnie raises his gun and... well, the borders are here, so I'm guessing whatever boarded.
Maybe. And I think she is curious for a moment as she recalls the last time we were in the walk, we had a nice bit of knocking going on. She wonders there is something similar, but she shakes her head and pushes it aside, and she wants to keep going towards the navigator. She's gonna not get curious, not get distracted, push in that direction, and she'll kind of grab Donnie by the arm to bring him with her and away from that.
Yes, so the first meters he'll keep his eye over. He'll like move backwards, gun aimed at the door until he feels it's safe to continue running towards the navigator's tank, which you can get to relatively easily. There's at this point in time, not much amiss other than it's dark. There's only emergency lights on, and it's slightly colder than usual. Yes, the ship is now running on emergency life support. You manage to reach the navigator's quarters, and his security door, his bulkhead, is closed, as you would expect, behind the tank room. You're muted, I think.
What was his name? Like Cornelius or something, right? Fistandantis? No, that's someone else.
Hang on.
Different type of wizard.
Different type of wizard.
Sanctinius.
Sanctinius! We found it at the same time.
Huzzah!
So she'll try and use comms to reach Sanctinius, but she's not very patient right now. This won't be the first time she's walked through this door in a cheaty manner, but she's going to give him one shot to open it before she just goes in the other way.
All right. So there's a special comms unit next to the bulkhead door. First, you enter his quarter. You can easily enter his quarters. You just open. You can pretty much override that door. And behind this quarters, there's a bulkhead door which leads to the room with the tank you were in before. And there's a comms unit there, a special one-on-one line.
So she'll go over to it and say, Sanctinius, are you well?
Yes, I am well, but the ship, she's wounded.
I am aware. We have a lot of friends aboard.
And we have a lot of friends around.
The knocking. You hear it too. She's relieved it wasn't just in her brain. Even though Donnie reacted, Donnie could have been reacting because she reacted. She's relieved not just in her brain.
Yeah. Yes. I will try to do my best to shake them.
What is out there?
If I were to tell you, you'd go insane.
Perhaps I am already insane.
Telling you would probably compromise the integrity of our ship.
Very well. Donnie and I will protect you from out here.
Thank you.
And Matilda's like, I really want to know what's out there.
Donnie doesn't want to know.
No.
He's very conscious of what he
I'm going to do
does.
something stupid because it's the finale and it's fun. I want to... Let me see which one this is. It's kind of like a mind read. I don't want to walk the walk, but I want to push my mind reading. See if I can get like a beat on what's out there. Because Matilda's like, we need some friends. We're really fucked right now. I'm willing to be creative about who that friend is.
Okay. Roll me a psycho check to start off.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't got Fantasy Grounds open. Could someone roll me a thing while I get it back open?
Are you sure you want me to roll something for you?
Yes.
All right. I will roll you a psycho check.
I will
but
get it
with-
back open now.
Yeah, you make it. It's 16. With your 10 makes it 26. So that's easily enough to activate your communications power. As you try to reach out, and the first thing you get is an alien language. Do you speak Eldar?
Nope.
So you try to push. I'm assuming you're first trying to push towards Sanctinius as you're closest there. Like your interdimensional comms link goes out, and but you cannot reach him as you're straight away blocked by the sanctity shield that's also around his chamber, on top of normal physical
And
measures.
she's not going to push in that direction. She knows
Okay.
what happens when we push in that direction.
All right.
We're pushing the other way.
You also feel that you cannot read anything outside. You cannot reach anyone outside the ship, as it's blocked by the Geller field. However, you do get communications up with someone that's Eldar. Do you speak Eldar? No, I guess you don't, right? No. So
No.
you cannot understand it. It sounds distressed.
Maybe they can understand me. So Matilda is going to reach out to them and just say, "Who is this?"
You can roll me a willpower. You're in now, right? Yeah, I can see.
Let me see. Willpower is 14.
14. 14 is not enough. And as soon as you actually try to push communications into it, you feel like a burning on the like a migraine starting.
Like a sinus headache.
Yeah, sinus headache. You lose 1 temporary point of intellect.
I didn't need those.
As you do feel this encroaching feeling of doom.
Mm-hmm. Okay, can I give you a hero point? I believe I have one still.
No, actually, you can actually earn a hero point to push, because I believe that's one of your complications, as you were too curious about these kind of things.
Yeah.
So I will give you a hero point if you try to see what you're reaching.
Okay. Yeah, she wants to see, and she wants to tell it even though it's pushing back at her. I was there when the other one was murdered. And she's gonna try and go in at that angle with the Eldar. But yeah, I'll give you that. And you want another psycho?
Yeah. No. I'm giving you a hero point, so it's gonna work.
Okay.
However, you can make me another willpower save.
That's
Which is 20. 20 is enough. You make the DC, so to say. As you push out there, what you see is an Eldar, but there's only pieces of Eldar left. It looks like it's mostly mutated, a monstrosity that you're reaching out to. And it's seeing you now as well.
And I imagine we're just kind of sizing each other up for a moment, figuring out what the other is. I have, under Psycho's gift, I have Aura of Power. Can I turn that on to emanate my psychic energy? It just makes Matilda really spooky.
Yes. Yeah, you can turn
I
it
think
on.
it's on the other box. So.
Yeah. I think that was one of the... yeah, you can always turn that on. You still have to roll me a psycho check, though. So it's a new power you're turning on. Definitely make it.
Vigilant.
Yeah, you radiate. Donnie is suddenly... you're not looking here, so you're probably now limp, but you do radiate psychic energy in that room, and I will roll an opposed willpower with you.
Okay.
As you try to impress
I wish
it.
I hadn't just used that 19 up, but 21.
Yeah, but you're good. It hesitates. It stops knocking on the door, and you don't understand its language. But you do now. Well, you don't. You cannot translate its language, but you understand what it's trying to say. He's whispering, "Help me."
How would I help you?
Kill me.
Perhaps that I can do. Where are you?
He tries to show you what he's seeing. And let's roll an opposed willpower again.
I gotta push all the bad buttons. I'm sorry, guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
27.
he both shows you what he's seeing, but he doesn't manage to get closer into your mind, which is what we're rolling opposed for instead of straight. And you see the same door you passed by, but the other side, and behind him there's a breach in the hull with what looks to be an Eldar vessel attached to it.
Disconnect your vessel from ours and you will die. And it will solve both of our problems.
No, roll me a willpower opposed for that.
Oof.
Mm.
I'm just waiting for that nat 1. I'm just waiting for it to drop me on my ass.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that too. And you feel an excitement, an interest in it, but it's not enough. Is it like you're trying to manipulate him, right, into doing it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a persuasion or intimidate type.
Yeah. But you don't manage to push him out.
Mm-hmm. What are you waiting for?
The door. And as he says the door, I want you to roll me an opposed willpower. As he's trying to dig into your memory of how to open this door. But he narrowly fails.
Close.
So basically your thoughts suddenly go into door mechanisms. But you manage to catch him before he actually finds out that you only have to push the button right next to the door.
I see you looking. We're not invited. There is nothing for you here. I will tell you once more. Detach your ship and solve both of our problems.
I'll have you roll one last attempt at persuading him. And it's as much a battle of wills as it is a...
No!
He's at this point. He's not pushing back to you to enter, though. He's trying to stop himself from listening. And you feel as much as hear him saying, "It will never end there." As he now tries to find seams in the door to open, and his mutations have been growing in the meantime. So his
Do I
limbs
get
have
the
been getting
impression
bigger.
that he is actually pretty powerful and not really very in trouble?
You get you get half the consciousness of the Eldar himself, who is currently on his way to becoming something else.
Mm-hmm.
which is also there.
I think Matilda is going to shut down that connection.
Mhm.
She's pushed enough, and she knows this being is strong enough to push back and getting stronger. And she'll come back to her body and turn to Donnie and say, "The thing that knocks is getting stronger. It is being warped. Wants to get in." And she's still spooky. She's not entirely presenting as panicked, but there's that glint to her very dark eyes of, we need to decide something now about that.
Where is it?
The door we passed, the thing that knocks. It is
Can we
between
kill it?
us and the other ship. I don't know. It's in the gap. We could open the door, but then we would be letting it in. And we cannot destroy a ship that is attached to us while we journey through the warp. I tried to convince it to disconnect, but it refused. Perhaps it couldn't, perhaps it wouldn't. But either way, the longer it is there, the stronger it will get. Perhaps we should open the door and kill it now before it gets any stronger. But I am afraid what else opening the door might invite.
Well, we'll need to rally anyone then, if we are to kill it. Everyone.
I should contact Kifkin. And she really doesn't want to call Kifkin and tell him about her psychic phone call. You know what? Maybe I should call Vasily. She'll just beat into Kipkin, deciding she doesn't really want to get shouted at by either of them, but she knows Vasily was busy based on the impression she'd been given earlier. Kifkin, we have a problem. A new one.
Okay.
Caught between our ship and the Eldar ship is a creature. It's Eldar, but it's mutating. It wants to die, or at least it claims it wants to die. The longer it is caught between us and in the warp, the stronger it is getting and the more it will mutate.
Congratulations, you have encountered your first chaos spawn.
Kifkin, your sarcasm is not welcome right now.
Best case scenario, try and lock all the bulkheads between the area of the breach and the remaining parts of the ship. Vent all atmo, and possibly put a small deck charge in that corridor before you seal it. Once it is sealed and all atmo evacuated, detonate the deck charge remotely. If nothing else, it might slow the fucker down. But
how effective is a dead charge with no atmosphere?
Still pretty damn effective. It's one of the nice things about the Imperium. Okay. All local armsmen in the area of decks 2 and the bridge, please report to the navigator's quarters. You will be answering to Matilda. I want whatever it is that she wants secured. There. Sounded official. Now, just be very careful. 1, they're constantly mutating. 2, they're insane. 3, they want to die. And if they can't die, they'll take you with them. All right. Best of luck!
Thank you, Kifkin. Good luck to you as well. And she'll turn off the...
as an intermission, we have a very nice donation from Kitchen Bradlen of 1,000 bits, giving 1 natural 20 to every single person, which you can use either as a hero point or as a net 20, whatever you decide. And at some point, the thing will update and we'll get it on screen as well. Thank you.
I will do all of the bad things for you, Kitchen. Just watch. I'm sorry, Pope.
So did you do a shipwide message with that?
Yeah, Pope did a message to tell the army guys, right?
Our armsmen, our local armsmen aboard the vessel. Think of them as shipboard marines.
Yeah. There's around 20 which are currently up and available. Taking away the ones that joined Vesely in the earlier attempt. It's a lot of the ship is automated, so any crew that is here is specialized, so they'll come. You don't put the Mechanicus there, or do you? Divert?
No, the secondaries need to hold out engineering, because if we can't maneuver, what good is everything else?
Yeah. All right. So we'll go back to the janitor and Vesely. You also got a memo of that, I assume. Do you give them an update of what's happening, Kivkin?
I was still waiting for Ablucasis to calm in.
All right. So we'll go back to the janitor and Vesely, who started moving back towards her lab. And as you, do you want to talk before you get to your hallway, or?
Well, I mean, the janitor pretty much is administering. As one mechanoid is dragging Vasily along, the other one's already starting treatment, pumping him full of drugs and all of that kind of good stuff, trying to stop bleeding, patching him up. And they are in the other hand, with the two mechanoids doing that, and in their hands, they're carrying the gauntlet and the helmet that they retrieved from the...
He had both artifacts, by the way, which were not affected by your fire.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Dragging Vasily towards his lab, towards their lab, trying to patch up what they can, and carrying the two artifacts down the hallway.
As soon as we get Kivkin's message, Vasily will be trying to tear away from the apparatus.
You won't go but 3 feet down the hallway before you die. So I would suggest that you stop fighting me. Let me fix you up. Then you can go get yourself killed again.
The faithful need not fear death. And besides, we march towards it anyway. Drag me to the front.
We need you alive in order to kill them first. Because there's only a limited number of us, and apparently a lot of them.
Then work quickly. I'm as good as half of them. Twice their number. Quarter of them. Just an enormous loss of blood just kind of bleeds.
At that point, you're just sedated and pretty much rendered unconscious, so we can get that big hole fixed.
As you turn the corner to the last hallway leading to the lab engineering on the engineering deck, you notice there's a fire now raging in the room you left behind.
Oh, well, I would hope that the suppression systems would take care of that.
They're really hard at work trying to suppress it.
Well, I guess we'll just have to do this here. And they'll literally stop and using the Medicaid McCandrite treat Vasily. Since they have one that's specialized just for that.
All right.
Do you want a treatment roll with that?
Yeah, a treatment roll, unless you have a special healing power.
Well, the McHenry also has a +1 to energize and a +1 to stabilize.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how you want me to roll.
Just roll medicine, and
okay.
We'll see How will you help
That's
him?
23.
At 23, I have to remind myself of healing mechanics. You were staggered, I believe.
Staggered at a -4 for toughness, yeah.
Yeah. We'll take away the staggered with that. But we'll leave in the -4, which we'll have to heal over time, or by special powerful healing.
So the +1 to energize won't help with the way it does?
No, only if he's fatigued, for example.
Was I might have actually been fatigued. I can't remember. I do remember the -4 and the staggered. I can't remember if I was
Well,
fatigued.
you were moving at half speed, so I assumed that was a fatigue.
That was the wound, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're patching up his wound, and let's assume you can now move at normal speed again, regardless of those two.
Once Vasily is able to at least move without spilling his innards, Albicasis will then get in touch with the Inquisitor Kipkin. Vasily is no longer in immediate danger of dying unless he runs into something sharp again. I have retrieved the 2 artifacts that they were attempting to take with us, and my lab is engulfed in flames.
All right, priorities. Put out the fire, secure all of engineering, try and do what you can to secure the artifacts, as well as try and help all of our staff patch up that one engine, or at least keep it from venting into the warp. Also, Hell's Breach Protocol is now in effect. Anyone who is not already on a job is to be placed protecting the Geller field. I do not want that thing to drop while we have borders.
Well, I blew up one of my
Invasive?
services. Yes?
If, not when, if you cannot get in touch with me and you cannot get in touch with Vasily, then you are allowed to use the artifacts, but not till then.
Can I put the artifact on Vasily?
No, not yet. Not until I die.
Very well. Emperor protect.
Or protect.
The janitor is now going to be trying to put out the fire in their lab so that they can access the engineering to help them.
Yeah, it will take some time, but with your added help and your servitors, you'll manage to put out the fires. But highly sensitive equipment is, well, ruined. Gonna take time to repair.
Can I at least create a stasis field for the artifacts and hide them? No. All right.
The stasis field generator, all the wires in it, all the wiring pretty much lost their shielding and short-circuited.
All right. They're going to get wrapped up in a cloth in a pouch and attached to the janitors under their cloak around their waist.
All right.
And then they'll go into engineering and help out.
Mm-hmm. Kifkin, do you at any point actually ask for a status report or something?
Now that I've finally gotten from my acolytes, it's like, okay, Captain, Lieutenant, full status report. Just how fucked are we?
Sir, we appear to be having... we had a fire on the engineering deck, and that appears to be most of the internal damage. We had an impact with the Eldar vessel, which is now shattered around us. Pretty much destroyed the part of the cannon barrage on the starboard side.
Great.
But
Great.
Structural integrity appears to be intact. Any fires there have been put out.
Good. Just try and get us full ahead without colliding into anything else to that safe D-warp point at the edge of the system. in the meantime, we're just going to have to try and hold out. Ah, shit. Captain, you have the bridge? I have to go do something because my stupid sense is tickling. As he leaves the bridge and rushes to the library.
Okay. It will take you a couple of minutes to get there. Matilda. Yeah. What's your plan?
Matilda is going to turn to Donnie and you must protect the navigator at all costs. I will be back. And she'll hand him her master craft saber. She doesn't need that. What she's going to do.
He's like, well, my orders were to protect you.
Well, I supersede those orders and I tell you to protect the navigator.
Okay, just be safe. Don't go opening that door, please.
Are you going to make me promise?
If I have to.
She rolls her eyes, gives him a kiss, and darts out the door before he can make her promise anything.
You feel
and she'll lock the door behind her.
With your heightened senses. He'll stay there. Okay. So what do you go do?
She's going to begin putting in place the plan that Kipkin outlined, getting the soldiers to be clearing those sections, getting them locked down. But then she's going to remember a negotiation we had around the time we were requisitioning our cases, and we got a really big gun that was like a one-shot kind of deal.
A plasma
and
cannon,
she's thinking,
yes.
that would be really good. That would be really useful.
Mm-hmm.
I want that. And she's going to go and get that.
With a couple of the security, I guess.
Yes, because she's a tiny woman and not that strong.
Yeah, you'll have to go to the lowest deck, which is the cargo holds, to get it. Will take you some time, and in the meantime, Kifkin can enter the library.
Oh, I really hate doing this. He reaches out, grabs a tankard, pours himself a tall glass of Fizz-Thin, which is sweetened and fizzy ploin juice. If you're wondering what a ploin is, it's a cross between a strawberry and a pear. It is pear-shaped, and thus the term ploin-shaped when everything goes wrong. And things have gone wrong. So he goes to one of the books that the cover says tax records and tithes of the Harada sector, pulls the cover off, reads Infernium Lingardum, and then just flops it on the table, starts flipping through the pages. Okay. I don't want to have to do a summoning in the warp, but I have a feeling I'm going to have to do a summoning in the warp quickly. So let's see how the dark side does it and see if I can adapt it for my means. As he's looking up means to, considering who they've been dealing with, means to summon daemonettes, and gives himself a crash course.
Okay. Well, as you start reading, I will first have you make a willpower save.
Seems totally legit. Well. There we go. Well, it's not terrible. $14.
A 14. With a 14, you start reading these horrible texts which are not meant to be seen by human eyes, or at least mortals, most of them. And I will give you a condition,
Okay.
which is called touched.
Good. It goes with fondness for the forbidden.
Yeah.
So we'll be touched.
Yeah. And well, you can go ahead to prepare the proper ritual.
The thing that he's trying to do, because he's not going to enact it yet, but seeing the small principles on summoning something that you desire, he's going to crawl back through his own sort of crash course that he's had on summoning and artifice and magic. You know, those things that you shouldn't know. And he's going to try to get a ritual prepared for summoning an Imperial Saint.
Okay. You can roll me an occult roll for that.
Okay.
An Imperial Saint?
Yep.
All right.
Sometimes, listen, we'll go with expertise. Would you like magic or the occult?
A magic in this case,
Okay.
as it's practically magic.
21.
At 21. All right. I will let you know how that ends up when you actually do it. You feel like you're doing the correct procedures.
All good. None of this can go wrong.
What could possibly go wrong? or should it be how hard can it be? Classic. Do the janitor and Vesely do anything while this is happening in other hallways?
Vasily is desperately trying to get to where the soldiers are, because that's where the problem's being solved. So as soon as he gets his whole situation sorted, he's gonna try and just hobble off as quickly as possible, flamer in hand, just going and going until he either sees somebody that he can give an order to or somebody who can give him an order.
Okay, which is quite easy. There's a lot of servants and servitors running around trying to get shit working. Stuff working.
All right. So, all of that in mind, probably try and find Matilda, since that was the one that we were to report to, given Kifkin's orders. So, gonna tune into the microbead and just sort of cast out. Right. Fit for duty once more. Where's the damage?
Vasily?
Oh, yes, perfectly fine now. Thanks to Janitor Albucasis. I just hope they didn't put new bits in. Oh.
What is the situation? Update me.
Terrible, as far as I understand it. The lab's on fire. Don't know where Kifkin's gone to, and, well, everyone here is running like a few croxes with their heads cut off. Could be
Kifkin
worse.
is on the bridge.
Open channel between all four. Kifkin? Wanted to inform you your favorite incinerant is back for duty. Orders still standing as they were previously transmitted.
Silly, you sound fucked. How fucked are you?
Oh, this could be worse. Could be better, but I think I'll be more than willing and ready to give the enemies of the Imperium a warm welcome. He'll look at the tip of the flamer and just spark it a little.
All right, Vasily. Reconvene with Matilda, considering that there's possibly a chaos spawn that wants to give us all a bunch of warm hugs.
Oh.
In which case, meet me at the site of the breach. I'm a little busy right now, but I am on my way.
Side of the breach it is. Chaos spawn it is. Fire. More fire it is. Just
Your
Continue
favorite, Vasily.
Oh, you know me so well.
Yes, I do. And she clicks off.
Same.
All right. So where do we go from here? That's the question. Does the janitor do anything in the meantime?
The janitor is busy in engineering, keeping the ship's engines working and intact.
Yeah. So I'm assuming you're gonna go into the engineering, the engine room for that. Engine
Yes.
room is almost like a cathedral on a ship like this, like a cathedral hall, full of machinery. And one of the largest machines in there is the Gellerfield generator. It's humming, and most of the power the ship is using is being used to power that at the moment.
And I mean, the janitor is now a priest, chanting the prayers to keep everything as it should be, to repair, to improve.
All right. You can roll me a technology to get started on getting the ship up to full power again, as the impact has taken a lot of it. And
22?
The way we do this is I want you to gather 5 successes, so to say, 5 degrees of success over 15. So with a 22, you get 1 degree. So you need to spend time repairing for 4 more of those rolls to get full power, or roll exceptionally high on on 2.
Nat 20.
Yeah, I'll tell you when you can roll the next one. Because
Oh, sorry.
we're gonna have time pass first. So you'll be busy repairing and praying to the machine spirit. All right. Let's see. Did we hit the 20 yet? Did we? No, we need one more. So Matilda, you arrive at the hold. The weapons are there, nicely packed in boxes. The ones that are small enough, and the cannon. It's basically mounted on a small crawler, a transport crawler. Tracks, like rubber tracks.
Kind of like a mini tank.
Yeah. Mini
Okay.
movable platform.
We just need to figure out how to get this from down here to up there. There aren't conveniently like a dumb way to elevator I can just push this thing into and get it up a few floors, right?
You can try. Well, you can just drive this. You can drive this at foot speed.
All right,
Like
sure,
normal.
yeah. Just get this thing moving.
Yeah.
And she'll be
So
briefing as they go. We only get one shot with this thing. And I still believe we should set up the detonation just in case. I've always wanted to see one of these things fired.
And
Just be
a couple of
walking our
them look
little
very
tank
excited.
cannon along.
There's a couple that look very excited. Some that are frightful, so to say. They help you moving it. Do you take explosives with you from here?
Yeah, she'll pick up a jetpack.
Yeah.
Because I imagine she can carry one of those. Cause
I think there were several plasma bombs, right, as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got the good grenades as well. I forgot about that.
Yeah, you got like a really high favor roll, so yeah.
Yeah, I want to take some of the good grenades, and I'll take like just the standard destination pack thing as well.
All right.
Matilda's gonna load up.
Yeah. So first you'll have to drive. You're gonna drive it to the freight elevator, take it to the correct deck, and gonna move there. Firstly, remind me, what were you doing again? You were gonna join her, right?
Yeah, orders given. So I'm gonna wait at the breach, and as soon as I hear the elevator kind of moving up, I'll angle myself and a few other of the people that I'm still in charge of miraculously toward there to help out in any sort of capacity.
Yeah, you can roll me a perception, unless you like plug your ears. That's also an option.
Hiya. That's 15 plus 10, if I'm not mistaken. So 20. Yep, 25.
25. With a 25, you can really visualize a creature on the other side of this door, looking for cracks. Every now and then you hear a metal clang or something snapping. Whatever it is, it's got multiple limbs.
That's always a good sign.
Mm-hmm. Or it's multiple people. That could be. It could be people. Definitely.
It could. I don't want to know what the answer is. I just want it
you know that it's not people.
Oh, good. I know it's limbs. I know it's got so many arms and legs. I'm just gonna. You know what? Even in the state that I'm in, I'm going to offer this to you, Bastian. One of my complications, because it's the finale, is I was not born to watch the world grow dim.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say to the rest of the squad, either take cover or go and help Matilda. And I'm going to stand at the wall, and wherever this thing is moving, I want to keep in tandem with it. I want to see. I want to be the welcome party.
You want to tune in with it. I will have you roll a sanity check for that in the form of a willpower roll.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you know what? Because I'm so afraid of rolling, how about you take one of these? Just take it off my screen. I don't want it. I don't need it. I'm okay.
Yeah. Well, I will give you that hero point, which you can use instead for this one as well. I mean, or net 20. Like, you still get the hero point. If you use the net 20, it's an auto success. That's.
I'll keep the hero point. I'll use the nat 20.
Yeah. All right. I'll take it away. I'll happily take that away.
Yeah, go ahead. Because I fear. I have one fear. That's going crazy. Okay.
You feel what it's. You're getting in tune with it, and it's working on multiple angles at the same time.
Just slowly pull out the eviscerator, keep it humming, and just feel whichever part seems to be the weakest, go to that, and if it turns out wrong, then again just keep in tandem with it as best as possible.
All right, that will work. Did we hit the 20, by the way? We might have. Yeah, we did.
We need one more. So
No.
we did.
Oh, we need one. Yeah, we need one more. Oh, sorry, it's 20 likes.
One more.
Yeah, one more. Because if we do hit the 20 retweets, we have the usual reward, which is. Can you remind me what it is?
We will be giving away a set of tabletop loot dice to one lucky person in the chat. And I saw you throw in that there's going to be a viewer decision, and I missed viewer decision, so we will also be doing one of those, which means you in chat will get to vote or make suggestions on something that Bastian poses. Also, hello Raiders from World Anvil.
Hello. Welcome to our horror story in the warp. So, Matilda, you managed to transport the goods up to the correct deck and towards the door. Jason, at a certain point in the hall, further in the hallway near the freight elevator, you hear the movement of a small transport track. And if you look there, you'll see Matilda driving. it's got one of those handlebars behind it, like pushing the plasma cannon you requisitioned. It barely fits in the hallway, and all the troops help with moving stuff aside that's in the way.
Was wondering when you'd arrive. Not like take a glance back and then just keep at the wall. Eviscerator in hand.
I thought that we would make the welcoming party as explosive as possible.
Appreciate it.
Vasily, you look a mess.
Just blood still like kind of pouring out. Thought you'd at least be happy to see me.
Yes.
I'm keeping an eye on it, or a sense of it. And here?
You should report to the navigator's room. Donnie is alone. Where is the janitor and the artifacts?
Currently combating a fire, and
Do you not
with
think you
the
should help
janitor.
with that? Fire is kind of your speciality.
Spreading
sure you
fire,
can put
not
it
putting
out?
it out. Hmm.
Your training is interesting.
Incinerants, we're not trained to be
Useful.
to some, I suppose. Just kind of grit my teeth at that comment.
Do you realize how powerful the things are that the janitor is protecting? They create holes. Holes of power.
I know precisely how valuable they are. Their strategic value is absolute. Ergo, with the enemies battering at the door, I elect to be their greeting. It's up to you smarter
Matilda-
people to figure this all out.
Matilda mentally reflects that Vasily has a lot in common with Chaos Spawn, but she decides not to vocalize that thought.
Don't worry.
Well, I never worry, Vasily. Takes up so much room in this great brain of mine.
It is great. It is great. Just keep trying to see where the
Vasily,
chaos
help me
spawn is
maneuver
trying to-
this into position. The spawn will come to us, believe me.
Fair enough. Shoulder the eviscerator and then help move it into position.
And she'll pull out a grenade as well and like hand that to him so he has extra toys to play with.
It's
Ooh.
almost like a detonation pack with several controls on it, with a timer and.
Try and resist the urge to detonate early. I know you'll get excited.
Fair enough. Just pocket the grenade and help with the movement of the plasma cannon.
And she'll go through properly briefing Vasily on the plan from Kipkin.
The janitor can roll me another technology as it continues to try to restore main generator power.
21.
21. That will give you another degree of success.
Right.
So you're at 2 out of 5 now. And we can quickly hop back to Matilda and Vasily. One thing you do need to do is get power. Connect the plasma cannon to power in order to fire it. Normally, it would be on a large tank, super large tank, or an defensive position. So you'll have to work on that. Either of you can roll me a technology. You can actually make it a teamwork, and then we'll do a first teamwork in
Yeah,
the
let's do
game
teamwork.
forever.
I have no techno qualifications.
All right, I've got like a bit of tech, so I'll
Okay.
go ahead and roll.
Yeah.
Question
So
mark.
the way teamwork works is you both roll. The highest of the two rolls is the primary roll, the highest of the two results. Then if the other roll is above DC 15, you get a +2 bonus to the main roll.
Okay. Yeah. Okay,
Is it
so
intellect based?
Yes.
Okay, because I
so
have no
that's
text.
19.
That's 21 with my reduction in intellect from earlier.
All right. So we get a 21 +2 for 23. By some miracle, you figure out how to hook this thing up with the two of
We
you.
find the
You're
plug
oh.
socket and we just
Yeah.
ram it.
So there's like these large power sockets and some cables which are hooked up at the back of the cannon. And then if you look around, you see several sockets on the wall. And between the two of you, you manage to match the cables with the right ones. So the cannon is now ready to fire. Kifkin, you have a good feeling that you've prepared your ritual properly. Was there any specific saint you would go for? If so, the difficulty class will be higher.
Considering just like how on the edge of everything being awful we are, go big or go home. Okay. Since she operates on non-Euclidean principles, let's just try and dial up Saint Celestine, why don't we?
Saint Celestine is a revered living saint of the Adapter Sororitas.
Yeah, she's also
she was believed to be slain.
Demon. Yeah, believed to be slain. She can be summoned.
Yeah, or at least her spirit, her avatar of such, with the proper occult knowledge. I will have you roll the magic again.
Yeah, that's funny. We're going to use
You're
that.
You're going to use it? All right.
Yeah.
Now, with the nat 20, you'll be able to summon the saint. This one. But the saint does not come in physical form, so to say. As you summon her, she kind of takes possession of your body, and you become the avatar of Saint Celestine. And well, we'll have you act it out as soon as you get in contact with others again. Kifkin isn't for now, but Saint Celestine is. And let's go over to Matilda and Vasily. It's your call now.
I think
you muted.
Matilda
Oh, sorry.
would be preparing to basically remote detonate via psychic powers using her mammoth. And she also wants to go into that psychic sphere so that she can call the spawn to us and get ready. That's Matilda's current plan. She would have explained that to Vasily, that she's gonna basically go into this corner, leave her body, and get the enemy ready. And as soon as that door opens, fire the cannon.
All right.
If a single one of its potentially many limbs touches our psyker, he kind of stops. I'll flay you all alive. Do you understand? And he looks to like every single like squad mate there.
Good. Then
Good
I
enough.
think we are all ready. And Matilda is going to go into her corner, and I'm going to use that nat 20 to not fail this psycho roll, because otherwise it buggers my entire plan.
Actually, the net 20 you can use. Hero points you cannot. So,
Right.
yes,
But it's
I
on the
will
side.
take it.
There we go. So that'll be a 30 on that psycho roll, basically.
Yeah, so a 30. What did you want to do with the psycho roll?
So she's gonna go into walk the warp. So she leaves
Yes.
her body and she's gonna push through into that space that we've spacified.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gonna go to the door. And then when I get there, I want to call to the chaos spawn.
He is there. Well, they are
Oh,
there.
good. We can have a nice little conversation. They are there. How long has it been they?
Well, you do not know how long. They're all in the same body now.
No. Oh, that's okay. So she puts her hand to the door and she speaks, and just is gonna assume it can hear. They can hear. Are you ready to die?
The scratching, knocking, and pulling and stuff stops. And you get a, yes, we are.
I am going to open the door, and you will die. Agreed.
Please help.
I have always been referred to as very helpful. And she's gonna slam her psychic hand. I'm gonna need to make a psychic check to be able to do this, to do the interaction on the door to get it to.
So, yeah, you want to open the door? Like, yeah, I will just allow you to open the door. I don't need to roll anything for that. And as you open the door, everyone present can roll me a willpower save.
I should have briefed them not to look. Shit.
Whoops. So, willpower, you say?
Yeah, willpower save.
Ow.
A sanity check.
Okay, so
Would you
that's...
like one from me as well?
Yes. Well, yeah.
Oh, that's not that
You're
bad.
very likely
That's
to make it, so.
22? Yeah,
22 is enough. So we had odd 20 troops here.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna roll all of them.
Oh, good.
Sorry, we can just push them out the airlock if worst case scenario we just vent the whole area.
Yeah.
Problem gone.
Oh god. Oh no.
Oh my god.
So I see a couple of ones in there.
I think a couple of ones, a couple of twos, a 3, a 6.
A 6. Yeah.
Yeah,
9 as well.
You open the door. Everybody's shocked by the view. As behind it is, well, there's parts of Eldar left. There are several limbs that are like still armored up with the same armor. One of them is actually holding one of the rifles, but it's like it's holding it and it's just pointing towards the sky, like not being aimed because there's no eye behind it. There's several eyes. There's several heads that sprouted from it. There's several tentacles, one enormous leg, enormous arm, and every second you keep looking at it, it changes.
I think Matilda inwardly is like, the janitor would love this. Shame.
Yeah, and you hear several cries of anguish behind you, around you. A couple of them are starting to run away, and others are about to fire. As we gonna enter initiative.
All right.
Initiative. I have a good bonus to this. 12.
Hiya.
Okay. Good bonus.
17.
31.
Matilda. 31.
Dang.
Vasily. 17.
Yep.
Abomination gets an 18. Sorry.
Oof, we all rolled high.
Thank God.
An 18 for its main action. and he'll have a second action on a 1. Then we'll have 2 groups of marksmen of the soldiers who are at exactly the same initiative.
Well, okay then.
Unless you shoot them, you're gonna shoot or rally them. You're gonna lose 4 of the soldiers to fear.
Okay.
I have a solution for that, but we'll see if it comes to my turn first.
Yeah, we hit 20 retweets, so we will be giving away a set of dice, if I'm correct. Yeah, welcome to the Raiders as well. We're in the midst of a save the ship or go home kind of situation.
Die.
Yeah, and we're just facing the abomination. So for the viewer decision, well, we're slightly too late to check what Pope would be summoning, because that was the original thought. But that's fine. Instead, I like to have suggestions of what is actually now in the elder ship behind this abomination. It's a boarding vessel. Or it was a boarding vessel. We're in the warp. It's outside of the hull, to be clear. So let's have some suggestions and see what comes up with that. But let's go into the combat, because Matilda has the first turn.
Matilda is gonna use something akin to her psychic shriek ability, only this is to issue a command rather than damage.
Yeah. Well, you actually have the mind control power, so you can just issue in the command.
Right, but can I use a hero point to make it so that the command is more widespread?
Yes. You can make it an area effect with your
cool.
hero point.
So the command is just destroy it now. Keep it nice and simple so people know what they gotta do.
All right. So once again, I will be rolling. No, well, I won't be rolling. You can roll me a psych check first. Which you make. Vesely, you can also roll me a willpower save against that. I think it's DC 20.
Funny.
How much?
Man. Like, oh yeah, no, a whole 10.
It's DC 16.
A whole 10.
For my...
Oh, DC 16. With a whole 10, you're
Dominate,
under 1 degree. So you will be... actually, that's 2 degrees. So you are now compelled to follow her order. As for the rest, the ones that started running, they stopped and looked very determined, almost enslaved to kill it. So they will try to on their turn. Meaning you have 3. Did I say 3 of the runners? 3 were running, if I'm correct.
3 or 4. Yeah. I think 4.
4. So the 4 runners, they return. The 2 natural ones, they seem to be struggling with something. Mm-hmm. And you can sense that. The abomination also has to try to resist it, and it does with flying colors.
It'd be so convenient if it just destroyed itself.
Well, you didn't specify what to destroy.
No, I know.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's an alarm going off as we expected. No. Where's my... I'm in the wrong tab suddenly. Oh, there it is. Down initiative, we go to the abomination. Their primary mind, so to say. You were standing right in the doorway, if I'm correct, Matilda. As you opened it.
In my mind.
Oh, in your mind. Okay, so you weren't. So what he's facing is a firing squad with a cannon in the middle of it, if I'm correct. he will
And
try
maybe
to.
it probably knows I'm there.
Yeah. He is actually going to move up to the cannon. And as he... I'll leave it at that. So he moves down the hallway towards and reaches the cannon, but he has no actions left to actually do anything with it. Vasily, you're next.
Cannon right beside me, right?
You have one shot.
Go ahead and... Is it in the line of fire for the cannon?
It's definitely in the line of fire.
Just let it rip.
It fires. It hits him. As it's an area effect, you do not need to try to hit him. And the plasma explosion engulfs the hallway, including all the soldiers that are scattered around here, and you. And you can roll me a dodge first to see if you can roll against half effect. And I will roll to see how many of the troopers actually survive.
I
One
want
survive.
to... No.
Oh.
I will use my hero point as fuel for Domine Libre Nos and reroll that result to try and get the better of the two.
Of your... wouldn't you rather use that on a toughness? You can actually net 20 a toughness and make it. Would be more
Yes,
efficient.
but I also know that we need soldiers.
Oh, you want me to reroll the survival?
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, the survive roll.
Yeah, as you can see, it's a D10. So
Oh,
half
crap.
of them are gonna die anyway.
Well, okay. That'll work.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Fine. Come on, guys.
And just because someone actually tried to help you, I'm gonna add this score to the original roll. So 2 survive.
Good enough.
And just because it's your special power, I'm not gonna make it to the 2 that make the net 1 on the willpower.
Okay, thanks.
So I will still have your dodge and then a toughness roll after that.
All right, dodge roll. I shouldn't have saved these people. I shouldn't have. It was a mistake. 13.
A 13. No, you'll have to roll against the full effect 10.
Yeah, go ahead, take it. I don't need it. I didn't need it anyway. I didn't want it really. Like it was just there hanging out, you know. It's just.
Didn't I just take the net 20 already?
No, you took the hero point.
Oh, the hero point.
That
So
yeah.
I'm gonna take the net 20 for your toughness, and by some miracle,
Which comes at a -4, so it's a nat 16.
well, with the net 20, I'm gonna have you just succeed your toughness.
Oh, thank God.
As it's a nat 20. No, it's not by some miracle. I mean, you are an incinerant. You know how to dodge fire. So you managed to shield yourself from this gulf of plasma fire that is encasing around 5 to 10 meters around the impact, including the cannon, as the creature had reached the cannon, and everyone behind the barricades. 2 of them survive, and there were 2 that, as they go up in flames, you see, instead of their arms going up in flames, you see part of tentacles going up in flames.
Great.
And yeah, so I will have to roll for the creature. Because let's see what it does with the creature. Where's my fancy ground? There's my fancy ground. First, I will roll its dodge, which it fails miserably. And then I will roll its toughness. He does roll an 18, but the way we have this special cannon, I'm going to have him be staggered and at -3 right from the get-go. From the direct impact. So let me write it down. Meaning, he will be moving at half speed, and yeah, that's it. So, and being very vulnerable compared to earlier. All right, let's go down the initiative because that leads us to the soldiers, all 2 of them, which have been commanded to actually shoot it. So they're gonna try. The DC to hit it is 10 because it. No, actually, it's a minus. He's on -2, so it's a DC 8 to hit him. And both soldiers make it, and he'll just have to roll against. Did they have special weapons? Let's give them hell guns. And that's we didn't. Yeah, they didn't
We could get las guns or whatever for a lot.
Yeah, hell guns are better.
Hell guns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Donnie is still equipped with a plasma gun, so you don't have that one here. And he rolls a 14 on one roll, as he's now at +10 instead of +13. There's against strength 4, giving him another -2 and a dazed. So he will only take 1 action on his turns and be at -5. Dazed. And the other shot just gets absorbed by this monstrosity. That brings us to the second part of the monstrosity, as some of the limbs that didn't take action now do have an action. And he can reach both Vasily and the 2 soldiers. And he'll make a multi-attack. How a multi-attack works, basically he strafes everyone within reach with a swing of a tentacle. And for every attack he makes, he takes a -1 penalty on his total modifier. And everyone he hits just has to resist the damage. So he'll make 3 attacks at a -3 penalty. With the third one being the second soldier, who gets a net 20, gets hit. The other 2 miss, which is a 3 and a 1. So Vasily, you see this huge tentacle sweeping above you. And the soldier goes down. He just gets smacked into the wall, and the wall is now mostly gore. Back to the top, Matilda.
Matilda, seeing this and not really wanting to go back into her physical body and be in harm's way, because that seems really dumb right now, is gonna drop the dominate and use psychic jab to try and just destroy this beast from inside out.
All right.
To make it roll.
Yeah, you'll need to make
Nice
a
focused
psychic check.
attack. Yeah. Okay. Oop. Just 16.
Just 16. 16 is enough to do your psyker power, and it's strength 6, I believe.
Yeah, it's damage 6, increased range, required 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he will have to resist damage 6 with now at a +8 bonus, and he rolls a 10 against it. A 10 against a 6 gives him another staggered and a -3 penalty. In this special case, the double staggered will not kill him, as would be normal but he does take the extra -2. -3, sorry. So he's now at -8.
And in her little alcove, the smell of ozone is just wafting really hard off of Matilda's unconscious body.
Yeah. Did we? I forgot. Did we actually get viewer decision going?
No, not yet.
No. Well, let's change it. I'm gonna before we could go to the next round of combat, I'm gonna put a line in chat and a question. And the question is, what do they find when they drop out of warp? So basically, they have entered the warp, which is fast travel in Warhammer 40k, and they'll drop out of the warp, and it's not their intended destination, as something has gone wrong. I had a plan, but I'm gonna give the plan to Chet, and the result of it will impact our wrap-up later tonight. So, and I'm gonna put a line and go ahead. As we go back to the, we had Matilda, and then we go down the initiative order. And I need to remember. Cleric, could you gather suggestions for me from chat? If there are any. If there's one, that's going to be a short poll. All right. So we go down initiative to the abomination. Which is very angry, and it saw you jab at it. And on this action, he is starting to crawl towards you. He's going to be in closer range with you at the end of his action, but he cannot do anything else. And it leads us to Vesely. You're crouching in 3 debris of the cannon.
Okay. Yeah, it's probably going to do more damage. Eviscerator, full swing, and just try to carve out as many bits of this thing that I can.
All right. Roll me an
okay.
He has an armor class of 8.
Hiya. Nat 20.
Perfect timing for a nat 20. Are you just gonna add it on to the effect? I guess so, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But it's gonna be strength 15?
13 or 15, yeah, I think.
It's normally
is
10,
what
right?
it is.
Correct, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So normally 10 plus the 5 gives it effect rank of 15. So I'm gonna have to roll a nat 20 to actually make him survive this. But I don't. So he rolls an 8, and with the -8 penalty, he ends up at a 13, which is basically a fail. So, could you describe to me how you slaughter this abomination?
Okay, sure. The Eviscerator itself is like covered in purity seals and like all this other stuff, right? It's from the Sisters of Battle, if I'm not mistaken. So with the presence of Celestine somewhere aboard this ship, I think there's a moment where the actual like mechanics of this Eviscerator run like red hot to the point where it almost like singes Vasily's fingers. The purity seals begin to grow, and he's just looking at it in confusion, because usually that doesn't really happen. It happened once, but that was his doing. This is something new. And as soon as he sees that it's crawling towards Matilda, he's just gonna kick it into an ice pick sort of formation and just slam it into the thickest part of this creature and just tear through it slowly and surely, just to make sure every little limb and tendon gets a taste of the Eviscerator.
All right. Really nice. So it goes down, and you look up at the horrified face of one of your soldiers. And Jason, Vesely can roll me a fortitude save. And I will have the 3 of you that are left there also roll me a willpower save for sanity. As the creature, as you cut it up, parts of it actually get sucked into nothingness.
Okay. Fortitude save is not that good, but
against
we'll see.
Mutation.
8.
8 total?
Yep.
Okay. It's not affected by your penalties. Just so you know. That's
Yeah,
toughness.
no, I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's 8. All right. We'll see where that ends up later in the episode. As you do feel like the wounds you had, the open ones, are itchy, and you are covered in part in gore. And all three of you can. Did you roll me the willpower against sanity save, basically? A DC 15.
Well,
Well, not Kifkin though. Kifkin is in a different room. Just from Matilda, Vesley, and the soldier. I will roll the
yeah,
soldier.
12.
The soldier
whopping
is
great.
gonna have. Sorry, 12. You said. Yeah, you're gonna lose another point of temporary intellect. And
I don't need it. Take it.
yeah, you feel there's this sense of relief in a way, but there's so much out there. That's pretty much the feeling you get. What did Vesley have?
He also has to make a sanity check.
sanity
Oh,
check.
really?
Yeah,
That's
creature.
oh no. Okay, that's 17, I think. This is a will
17.
save, right?
Yeah, the 17 is enough. It's horrifying what you just saw, but it doesn't affect you.
If it was a fear effect, I have fearless.
Yeah, it's
just
another
as
fear effect. It's
something
a
worse.
sanity check. It's a
Something
power
worse.
these creatures have. Basically, upon seeing them dying, you get to roll a willpower against intelligence loss. Yeah, and we can drop out of combat. But in the meantime, though, we have a Saint Celestine, and we have the janitor. The janitor. Several seconds ago, this is before the fight, which was short, bloody, and deadly to a lot of people. You hear the distant explosion, plasma explosion, actually, with your knowledge. But I will have you roll one technology roll, which you cannot use a net 20 or a hero point on, because in that same instant, you see the power station readout, which you've been working on. You see a large spike in power drawn from surface stations. The plasma cannon. And you can roll me a technology to see if you can divert power quick enough to keep the Jella field up.
28.
28. That is definitely enough. And you know that you just saved the ship.
Yes. Praise the Messiah.
I will allow you to roll the next technology to restore power.
25.
At 25. That adds 2 successes. So you're now one part of a scene away from getting the main power up and running. In the meantime, we do have a Saint Celestine on board, who is inside the mind of Inquisitor Kifkin. She feels very powerful, though. More powerful than this body would ever be. Her sword is in her hand, though.
So, like, where Kifkin's eye should be, there is just a golden glow, followed by tears of blood streaming down his face, levitating about 6 inches off the ground, floating through the corridors, and in a discordant voice, seemingly cobbled together from a choir, the absence of faith is the mark of the weak. The absence of faith is the mark of the heretic. The absence of faith is the mark of damnation. By the Emperor's will I was brought here, and the Emperor's will be done. As this thing now stalks the halls, heading to wherever there is a single Xenos, a heretic, piece of chaos, just laying waste in whatever shape and form it can.
By the standards of Saint Celestine, I'm gonna assume that normal servants don't make the standard.
What it usually means by the standards of Saint Celestine, because I went with her because she's the one that I know the most.
Mhm.
Her mercy is a bit more than some. But let's put it this way. You best have been on church this Sunday, because if you missed it, you're probably going to be missing a head. But if you keep up on your prayers and you have a firm faith in the Emperor, she'll just pass you by.
All right. Well, all of the crew here will definitely know their proper rights, so to say. I'm gonna quickly. Did we have a poll for the view decision yet? Else, I'm gonna quickly put your
No,
comments
not
into.
created a poll yet.
All right, I will
The-
do.
The options are in the Zoom chat.
We also have a 2,000-bit donation from Kitchen Bratland. One crit for every player, and one extra for Senor World Build.
That's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Did I get all the options that are in our chat? I think I did, right?
I believe so.
All
Yes,
right.
they're all listed
So the
there for you.
option rundown is Skaven Hyde, Salvation, Neil deGrasse Tyson riding a dragon singing Rickroll, freebooters that attack the Eldar, and Sophenia as a Chaos Sister of Battle. Those are the things that may greet us when we leave the war.
All right. Quickly gonna make it, and I'm gonna link it in chat right now. I'm gonna leave it to run for a bit. So click the link, vote what you would like to see them find at the end of the warp, which we'll soon get to. Yeah, so we have to deal with a saint aboard the ship, because at some point the saint is gonna come by Vasily and Matilda, who will have a minute or two, three before they encounter the saint to deal with the aftermath of this fight.
Vasily is going to get. Go ahead.
No, you go. Carry on.
Vasily is going to go get Donnie and just shove him in the direction of Matilda. Having this now like weirdly glowing eviscerator just sort of in his hands. Watch over her when she wakes. I'm going to try and find Kifkin. Abukase, assemble the crew, assemble the squads, and get that thing shoved out the airlock. And he's just going to point at the abomination and basically run wildly trying to find Kifkin.
Yeah. By now, the abomination, the pieces that are left are the pieces of the Eldar, which have shrunk back to their original size, but there's a lot of them scattered on the floor. There's gore as well underneath it, fleshy, but it's like crawling away. Well, not into the hallway. It's not literally crawling, but it's shrinking.
I think. Okay, so the door is open, right? Still
Yes.
between us and the.
Yeah.
Matilda is going to use that push ability. She's going to call on the mammoth to funnel its power to push all of this shit out and into that space. She doesn't want this in her ship anymore.
All right.
Just push, and I will make the psychic check.
Yeah. If you succeeded, it will work.
Nope.
Oh, come on.
I need one more power.
You need one more. So Donnie will join you there, looking at the carnage after a few moments, and he'll actually start exploring the hallway. And do you follow him?
I think she does, and like she's still in the warp, so she'll just drift after. She's kind of forgotten that she's not in her body, and she's just gonna move after Donnie.
So behind the open airlock, no, not airlock. I used the word 20 times today, like the door.
Bulkhead.
Bulkhead, that's the one. You see all the walls, all the panels have been pulled off. There's been wires pulled out of the ceiling, walls underneath. Donnie navigates it, crosses to a section of the hull leading to the what looks to be like an Eldar type airlock, boarding lock, and gives you a clear. As he checks the small vessel, which is nothing more than a assault boat in a sleek Eldar design, which there's no more Eldar here.
I think Matilda is actually going to get curious in this moment and look to see if there are any personal effects of these creatures here. She's curious about a psycho whose mind is as powerful as a Farseer. And while she didn't feel any of those here, she's very now curious about the Xenos that has this capability.
Yeah.
And who they are.
As you look around, you see that almost everything they've made is of materials that do resonate somehow with the other realm. It's clearly not meant to have any effect, but this is you get a sense that anything they do is they're technologically so far ahead that it touches on being supernatural, or they are actually embedding it in machinery controls.
And she looks at Donnie and recalls the Emperor's Tarot she put in his kind of back pocket on the bridge, and she considers if she could maybe stash one of these on him, not having a physical form to carry these things, and not having much mental strength left, having just done a lot of work. But she has Kipkin in the back of her mind, reminding her there are some things it's better not to know, not to have. And she kind of idles there, and she watches Donnie. We should go. We can inspect this when we leave the warp. Knowing that if she stays any longer, she's going to be severely tempted to steal something from on the ship.
Yeah. So you return to your body?
She'll go with Donnie until he's off the ship, and then she'll go back to her body, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a small ship. It only has like 2 rooms, a cargo hold, a control room, and there's no pilot. He's probably scattered in the hallway. And
so she returns to her body, and she looks up at Donnie. You didn't follow my orders. What are you doing here? You are meant to be watching the navigator.
Vasily relieved me. I'm gonna assume you stood near the navigator, right? Vesely, by the way, by this time your -4 you had has been healed. And your wound has closed. Okay.
Perfect. Just great. That's just gonna look and ignore and just keep trying to find Kifkin.
Mhm.
Just gonna yep.
All right.
Nope.
And as you, Matilda, so Donnie says that Vesely took my station and told me to come guard you again.
It's funny how they all seem to think I need guarding. And she looks at like the plasma effect. She's gonna take credit for that, even though she didn't push the button. And then she looks at Donnie. What is happening on the rest of the ship? We've been very busy.
In terms of reports, everything looks okay for our current situation. I've been
Maybe it is
listening in.
over.
It's not over until we leave the warp, I think.
And her eyes do drift up and she listens to the hull, wondering if there will be more knocking. Wondering what is out there. Having had a glimpse and her mind being scrambled, and it just makes her more curious what she doesn't understand.
All right. So, we'll quickly go back to the janitor, who can make her last roll. And I think as long as you don't roll a net 1, you're going to restore main power to the ship.
All right.
Well, it's a DC 15, I said, so... Oh yeah, 1 or 2 would have been. Yeah. You managed to restore the main power reserves?
And I'm assuming with the connection that the janitors created throughout the ship, as far as the computers and everything like that, it's aware of what the overall status of things are?
Yeah. So you turn on the main system, so you get direct. Some of the direct camera feeds are back. Life support goes back into full swing instead of being on emergency power. All the lights turn back on, no longer being limited to emergency lights. And as you scan like your like the array of cameras, the first thing you notice that is out of the ordinary is that there's Kifkin is floating through hallways, and every time Kifkin enters a camera, it's as if the image it's brightened a lot. There's a lot more light than you would expect. If I'm correct, Pope, it was glowing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's also after images of Celestine's wings. They're almost burned into the lenses.
Yeah. They actually burn into the lenses wherever Kifkin passes. Do you keep looking at other cameras? That's the main question.
I guess this is like they're studying this because you don't see this every day. This is,
do you have anything related to knowledge with saints religion?
Don't believe so. No.
Okay.
Every medicine and technology are there.
Okay, then you will not be able to recognize it directly.
So he's definitely studying that, and at the same time, he's aware of the artifact. They're aware of the artifacts that they still have on them, and the fact that the fighting stopped. And so they're gonna hit the microbeam. And go, and have we cleared the Eldar ship for the artifact that they were carrying? Hello, anyone? Did any of you survive?
Donnie here. Donnie, we cleared the Eldar boarding ship. It appears to be a small vessel attached to the hull. I believe we actually had a collision with the Elder's ship, if I heard that correctly on the chatter. So the Elder's ship is in debris around us.
Well, they had an artifact aboard that ship that it would behoove us to locate and not leave behind in the warp. Hold on a moment. And Abacase is going to try and cobble together something where he can measure that field between the two artifacts.
You're making like a Geiger counter for artifacts?
A compass.
Compass.
Like a compass to locate the using the hole in the field.
Well, to be able to measure that, you'll have to first repair your measuring equipment which you burned.
Is there another place on board this ship that would have that?
No, you actually used the one machine you have that can.
Okay. So using inventor and tinkering abilities would definitely be cobbling together something. It doesn't have to be.
It's gonna take time. So that's the main. It's gonna take hours to make it.
Well, that's there's as basic as they can. Cobble together something to try and figure that out. And it's just keep an eye out for it is where whatever it is that you people are doing.
It's just so you're just coming to them directly. So the Celestine did hear the call for anyone respond, the initial call out. So no, she's not. She doesn't listen to that anymore. No.
If engineering is secure, Albucasis will turn it back over to the regular staff for routine operations and is going to go back to their lab and try to start repairing whatever they can.
All right. So for our last scene, we're going to have an interaction with Celestine today, probably. However, is there a volunteer that would be the first to encounter her?
I'll take her.
All right.
I mean, I will meet her nicely in the corridor.
Yeah, so you and Donnie are actually in the corridor. He's probably, depending on how bad you act, he's either carrying you or supporting you.
Supporting, my legs work.
Yeah, all right. And Pope, could you describe the visage again? Or short.
So floating, but seemingly dangling there, held by puppet strings. An after image of glowing wings behind the almost crumpling form of Kifkit. Robes billowing, where there should be eyes, it's just two glowing orbs, like blood was obviously streaking down from the eyes, but has now dried and caked on the face. A bright glowing sword seemingly made more of sun than of anything material, grasped in hand, dripping little motes of starlight. Just gradually stops in the hallway at the T-juncture and then slowly turns on some imaginary axis towards you.
That is not your body. If you break it, you buy it.
By the will of the Emperor, I was summoned. The Emperor's will be done.
What is the Emperor's will today?
Purge the unclean. Death to the Xenos. Death to chaos. Death to heretics.
I believe you will find all of the chaos is outside. Would you like to take a walk? and give me back my friend.
You will have this husk back once we exit the warp. Till then, everything must be judged.
I thought the Emperor protected. Are you afraid of what is out there?
There is no fear in here, but for here I am bound to this form.
And Matilda wants to do a very quick premonition because she doesn't know what this thing is. Warp things can look very convincing. She is very sure of this.
Mm-hmm. You can roll me a psychic check, and Pope, you can roll for Celestine a perception.
No,
Would you like me to use Kifkin's stats or just roll a d20?
Kifkin stats. For now.
Okay. So a perception check, you said.
Mm-hmm. I think we had a donation of 2 net 20s in case you wanted, but well, it's too late now. Already rolled.
No,
Well, you can use it as a hero power, but
I will
you
keep
it
12.
Okay. So just so you know, the physical body does not notice the use of the psychic power. Psychic power. That's a DC 20.
I would have 20 that I'm crying. That's good. Matilda feels like her mental power is being strained, and that frustration kicks up in her because she doesn't know what this is, and Donnie is right near her. And I think she physically will step in front of Donnie, even though he's probably like a foot taller than her.
Yeah.
The head just cocks and stares down, even though there's no pupils to see where it's looking. It just stares. And it feels like those orbs almost burn through Matilda, burn through her head, down to her heart, through it and into Donnie, and then through him, and then past
I
them.
am the judge here. I am the Inquisitor. I am the Emperor's will and word. Take a walk.
You are given a reprieve for now, witch. For now, he has use for you. And then just slowly pivots on that imaginary axis and just floats down the corridor.
Matilda's hand is on her gun, and she's so sorely thinking about shooting this thing.
Yeah, well, when you
I think she knows there's power there. She knows.
When you reach for your gun, you actually feel the hand of Donnie on top of your hand. So you're reaching for your gun, and he just puts his hand over it to stop you from pulling it. He doesn't say anything.
This will not end well. We have to beat her to Vasily. Or them, I suppose, to Vasily.
Well, who is it? Is it still Kifkin? Is it
I don't
from
know.
out there?
It has control of Kifkin. I have no idea what else it might be. We opened a door.
And
Kifkin warned me. There are all kinds of things in the warp, and I have seen it too. We should hurry. Is there like a back route we can take to get to Vasily and the Navigator? Because Matilda's now real worried.
The Navigator was on the same deck, so it's basically down the hallway, 2 corners, and you're there at the front.
Scooby-Doo it down that corridor, try and beat this thing to that room.
The janitor did see the encounter on the cameras, which are now ruined. Vesely, anything you would do in the meantime?
Trying to get to the captain's bridge so that I can
So
get
basically,
a
as
hold
soon
of
as
Kifkin.
Dottie walked out,
It's like Navigator, like, threats been dealt with. Go about your business. Try to get Kifkin on the microbead. Fail in that, and now go to the bridge.
all right. So as Matilda and Donnie will find the room deserted when they come there, and several decks above you, Vesely, by chance, you do run into Kifkin. It's just...
Kifkin as I know Kifkin, or Kifkin,
Kifkin as just described Kifkin.
Oh, as just described Kifkin.
Yeah.
Okay. Immediately pull out the Eviscerator and see if I know anything about this with ecclesiarchal lore.
Yes. Go roll it.
Gonna need it.
Yeah.
Okay, not that bad. I know it's a 5 on the dice, but don't worry. I have a plus 10. So 15.
15. It's very fake, you remember, but it almost looks like a avatar of a saint from some pictures you've seen in some of the books you were forced to read. You don't know which one though.
Okay. You who dwelt amongst the most holy of terror. Yeah, go ahead.
Everyone needs to read what we just had in our chat. Is that Vesely is wielding a sacred weapon of the Sisters of Battle. And he is definitely not a Sister of Battle. So keep that in mind when you see this scene. Go ahead.
You who dwelt amongst the most holy of terror. You who have seen the golden throne. What is your purpose here?
I'm just picturing it's like Vasily, like full on Ghostbusters, like gets into the corridor, sees this, stops, has the eviscerator hand, takes that moment as the figure's just slowly floating down the hallway to register, and then the words just escape his lips. It's not even purposeful. It just happens. And then there's just this full stop of the figure floating, and then just this slow turn. And again, the face is getting more dried out, like it's burning through the body. There's starting to be cracks at the joints where there's blood, and mixed with the blood there's seemingly this glowing light. And one of those nat 20s is going to go away right now. As the eviscerator begins to just heat up to intolerable levels, as the eyes glow and the mouth opens, but instead of a sound, it's just a light. And there's a hiss, almost like the sound of a melta being fired. And with it, just like the light engulfs Vasily for a moment. And I would like to make Vasily make a toughness check to hold on to the eviscerator.
All right. So the way we're going to rule you, Celestine, is that she's pretty much a power level 10 person. So and I'll give you a variable 20 power to use, as you could normally. I think you know enough of the system to make that work.
So this is an environmental heat effect, essentially, which is what is going on.
Yeah.
So just make a toughness test to hold on to everything and not budge. not be bothered.
Well, I mean, it's there for a reason, right? It's finale. Use it.
So, okay. If you want to, yeah, I'll take it happily.
You know, Bastian, I've thought about it. I think I want to in this case.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
do you want to
it's
hold on
just
to the
something-
eviscerator in front?
Oh
okay,
yeah, definitely.
It's gone now. It will be gone in a few seconds. So.
Ow, 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 ow. just that inner monologue of ow, 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 ow.
And you will have to roll me a toughness against the environmental damage.
Just generally,
It's not too heavy to resist. So.
Yeah, this would be like a effect 3.
Yeah. 21, I think.
Yeah, it burns, but it's gonna be first degree burns, not so not lasting.
And with that, the light dies down, and there's more hissing. The mouth closes, and just the figure just closes as well onto Vasily's position. Throne child. Incinerant. You bear corruption in your body, but not in your soul. You have a choice. Be made whole and serve him further, or join him.
You who have dwelled in the shadow of the Emperor, who have seen beyond the veil of death, I tell you this. I have served, and I will always serve the Emperor. To say I would not do so is heresy in and of itself. I do not join him today. And even in that death, I would serve him.
Your choice has been made, child, and noted. Burn the next 20.
Ow.
And like the body of Kifkin as well as the after image goes completely ephemeral and passes through Vasily. And as it does so, with the heat of 1,000 suns racking his frame, excises every last ounce of corruption that was in his body, and every last ounce of doubt is just burned out of his skull.
The effect of that, Jason, is that Vasily now gets a new complication called no doubt.
Good. Fantastic.
Did anyone else just get "Don't Speak" playing in their head, or was that just me?
Yeah, that was perfectly intended.
Yeah. Okay.
And as the figure, the ephemeral figure passes through Vasily, after the pain fades and he can see again, if he turns, he's no longer there.
Hang on, I gotta catch that one if I can, so I don't miss it again. Oh, we love you though. So thank you, Kitchen Breadland, for the 1,300 bits donation for a heretical magic item for Matilda. We'll see what that ends up being in a moment, I guess.
So Kifkin's gone. Kifkin's just not there anymore?
Like, you turn around, even the floating figure just, like, seemingly has poofed. Don't know where it is now.
Mm-hmm. So, do you then visit the janitor as the last special person on ship?
Sure.
Which would be a perfect last scene. Almost last scene. We have another thing for Matilda to explore as well in a moment.
So, just floating through, and there's just this all of a sudden sunburst in the middle of engineering, like knocking everyone there over, and just again that familiar hissing sound of a melta being fired, the after sound of a devastating weapon just as the figure appears. This time, like, there's burn spots through the robes and the cloak. The bottom of the cloak has caught fire and is starting to be consumed. The wings are glowing brighter, and the body looks like the skin has been bleached. The blood is caked. There's cracks even in the feet that are dangling. Little bits of hissing blood hitting the deck plates, as the form looks like it's lost so much weight. It's more skin and bones than anything left.
So the janitor's going to look at this, see Kifkin and the damage that's being done to the body and the clothes on, and the first thing the janitor's going to do is a little fire extinguisher type nozzle that they might have on them, or it's going to go and spray the fire, putting out the fire in the robes. At which point they're going to look at it, and I'm assuming that Kifkin, the Inquisitor, knows about what you're doing. Are you going to repair the body before you leave, or will I have to do that once you're gone?
Servant of the Omnisire. By the
Yes.
Emperor's will I was summoned, and the Emperor's will be served.
I would presume as much, yes. But is the Emperor's will that body be destroyed, or can it be repaired?
Prices must be paid. Prices in blood, tears, faith, bone. All are his, and he owns all that he sees. It is his will.
Yes, well, I would like to repair it once you're finished using it. Also, if I may, I'm assuming you're here for some reason or another, but we've been dealing with these artifacts, and there was one that was on a ship that was trying to blow us up, and we blew it up instead. And this artifact seems to be floating around somewhere. I don't suppose you could help us locate it.
The items, heretical in nature, are not my purview or something to fetch. Servant
well,
of the Omnisire.
I didn't say you had to fetch it. I was just asking if you could help us maybe find it. We could do the retrieving. That would be.
Oh. Is the servant of the Omnisire asking a miracle of the Emperor?
Is that what a miracle? A miracle. That would be. Would it really require a miracle to do that? Interesting. Interesting. Well, I suppose if you've got one to hand out.
Are you willing to serve, child of the Omnisire?
Well, I believe I do so already.
Then it's agreed. your miracle will happen.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
And with that, there's just a burst of light, and all the alarms go off, and the
Oops.
klaxon sounds for dropping out of warp.
All right.
And Kifkin's desiccated corpse falls to the ground.
Wait, the janitor immediately goes to the corpse and is trying to revive it, trying to fix this because they don't want to explain it to Matilda.
Oh, yeah, you can roll me medicine to stabilize. And you do have 2 nat 20s. So
Yeah, let's go ahead and use that one of those nat 20s on that.
all right. So I'm going to take one of those away. And with that, you will stabilize Kifkin. And if we get back to this, we will see in what state Kifkin will come back. But we have one last person to go past before we wrap up today, and that's Matilda. Because as you drop out of warp, you feel a sense of relief. All of you feel a sense of relief. You do not know where you are, though. Yes, no one is on the bridge to check. No one is at the navigator to check. But in the moments before that, I believe Matilda had one thing she wanted to do.
I do?
Well, did you? Well, you had a plan, I believe.
Okay, what I would like to do actually is go back to that Eldar ship and go and have a quick look around for something now that I'm back in my body. I want to ditch Donnie so he's nowhere near me. And I want to go back to that Eldar ship and I want to go and take some shit from it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
And then I
assume
wanna
that,
go
that
and
you're
find-
sending Donnie to the bridge to get a status and.
Yeah, go be helpful, Donnie. Off you go. Thank you. And yeah, she's gonna go and find something on that ship, and then she's gonna go and hunt down the warp beast that is stalking her corridors.
Yeah, so you do feel the sense of relief as you step into the Elder vessel, and you are drawn to a locker in here, and there's a book in it.
Without hesitating, she just rips open the locker and grabs that book.
Yeah. The book has no text, though.
This is good because I cannot read. It's a small problem I have. But she looks through and she's trying to figure out what it is she's found, why she wanted this book. And she knew in her gut she really did want this book.
It does resonate on another level with you.
Would you like me to make a psycho check?
Well, if you want to go look there, then would be maybe a premonition.
Yeah, I think that's where she's
kind
going to
of
go look because she knows the Eldar are connected. And opening this book and seeing that she wants to do her premonition because she wants to go and hunt that warp beast, but she wants an advantage as she does so.
You can still use the nat 20 on that if you want.
Yes, please. I don't want to roll again.
You filled so many of those today. All right. So
Well, I failed the last 2 or 3, so yeah, it's time.
taking away the nat 20, you as you open the book again, but this time somewhere else. Yes, that's nice. You look down. It actually has texts, but you cannot read. So, well, that's one of your one of your complications. That will give you a hero point, actually, because that might have been nice. In this case, the complication works against you. But as you look up from the book, you are in your vision now, and this time you're down on a planet. It's close by. You can feel it, and you're walking in a city. All the buildings have the same materials as all the ruins you visited with the artifacts, but they are not empty. There's creatures here, humans. There's no there's humans, but all of them have tattoos, scars, mutations. They do not see you at this point. And this is when I'm going to use my net 20, one of them, as someone else is making a psycho check to try to connect to you. And in the middle of the street, you see two persons in front of you. Well, one at first. And at first he's taller than a human, maybe like 3 or 4 heads taller, but he is a human, definitely. He's wearing ancient robes inscribed with unholy symbols, and he's walking with a large staff, which is crackling with psychic energy, and he looks at you and says, "I've waited for you. Have you come to bring them?"
What do you mean you've waited for me?
It was foreseen. It's so in the book you're holding.
And Matilda's gonna try and throw up the mind shield that she'd been trying to learn how to do for the longest time and failed every time she tried. But she wants to throw this person out of her brain. This doesn't sound good.
You can roll me a psycho check.
Nope.
No. You want to go?
Nearly as low as I can go.
You want to go? I will let you go. But before you go, wouldn't you like to meet an old friend? And out of nothing comes stepping a figure in power armor. But the insignia on it are not those of the Sisters of Battle, but they are the insignia of Chaos. As Sylvania steps out of nothing next to him. And you snap back to yourself. No one is next to you, but in your hand you hold whatever artifact you would like to hold. It could be the book, or it could be something else.
I think the book has changed in her hand, and it's one of those Farseer crystals that the Eldari have. One of those powerful crystals.
It's
and that's
a
what's
soul
in
gem.
her hand. Yes, that's what they're called. Thank you. And that's what's in her hand, and she clasps it, and she tries to figure out the quickest way to blow up this ship because we are not delivering artifacts to anyone.
And that's where we will end this season of Inquisitor.
No.
Yes. Always end with a cliffhanger. I mean, at the very least, we're gonna think about either continuing the season or just playing it because I'm having fun. So, I enjoyed today. It was a finale, as I was expecting, as all the episodes have been awesome. So let's do our regular wrap-up. So you have an artifact donated to you by Benton, I think, again, who donated all the lovely net 20s. The viewer decision was actually they would meet our beloved Sylvania, but corrupted as a Chaos Sister of Battle on the other side. And they will, because they are now above a planet in an unknown system to them, which holds the ruins of the same civilization that made those artifacts. And whoever this figure is managed to recover Sylvania's remains or spirit and put it back into something. And it's here now. And it will come for them at some point. So, yeah, that wraps us this season. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So let's go do the usual. Let's go around our cast and crew, see where we can find you online. How did you enjoy today? And end where you would love to see your character going, ending up if we continue, or, well, where would you love to see your character ending up? What would happen to them in the future? So let's do the usual route we've been doing this season, starting with Kat.
Wow. Stefania always walked that line between heresy and the child of the Emperor, so it doesn't surprise me at all that she would come back this way, that something would use her. It really doesn't. This was, wow, this was amazing. I have really grown to love ABBA cases over this past season. I really enjoy them. I enjoy their curiosity. I enjoy poking at Vasily and Matilda and Kivkin with their curiosity. It's a lot of fun, and I'd like to see them keep doing that. They want to solve the mystery of these items, and that's where I could see them going. This has now become an obsession in a way for them.
Yes, that was
but-
the intention, and it worked.
It did. But first they have to make sure that the Inquisitor Kivkin does not die, because again, they do not want to have to explain that to either Matilda or Vasily. And they've got servo skulls to rebuild and all sorts of things. But hi, I'm Kat. I'm Cleric of Cord. I play games on the internet. This has been amazing. I enjoy it. I do hope we come back. I would love it. I'd love to play some more in this little world. I have a pinned tweet on my page. That's where you can find me, at Cleric of Cord on Twitter. And thanks everybody for watching and for hanging out. Everybody on YouTube, I love you. You can hopefully catch us live coming in the coming months.
Yeah, all right. Thank you. Next up, Pope.
Hey, everybody. World Build on the Twitter, World Build on the Twitch. I lurk in all your streams. So that was a thing that happened. I have to thank everyone here for just being as awesome as they are and just letting me play with all of the bad decisions and just run with it. As for where we see Kivkin, if he's stabilized, probably recovering in a Medicaid deck for quite some time, because I don't think having, a greater daemon of the Emperor coursing through your body is something you should be able to bounce back from. So
Never fully.
No, this is one of those like Eisenhorn level problems where you're in power armor not because you want the defense, but it's the only way you can walk. So it's one of those style of problems. Chat, you were incredible today. Those of you who are watching on YouTube, thank you for doing so. We'd love to have you here. Love each and every one of you, and there is so much to think about going forward. I am so excited. This may have been the giddiest I've ever been. So, thank you all. Thank you all for being here.
Yes. Before we continue to Jason, I will quickly open up the giveaway, which runs for 5 minutes. Make sure to type in chat !loot to enter it. There we go. And you can just, at the end of, before we wrap up, I will pick a winner, and they will get a lovely set of dice. Jason, your turn.
Oh, wow. Okay. That, from the brink of death to suddenly now having an interaction with one of the literal saints of the universe. Vasily's day has been interesting. At Just Jason, please, on Twitter. So happy to be here. If we come back, I don't know where Vasily is going to go, but it's going to be forward, and it's going to be very fast into enemy lines, probably. In terms of where you can find me, I've got a pinned tweet that will show you where I am on the internet. However, if you got time tomorrow at 2 p.m. CST, I'm going to be running a lovely, lovely game of The Witcher tabletop role-playing game on Susanna Grace's channel, friend of the channel, actually. And then on Thursday, I've got a little bit of a tourney that I'm to be a part of. But I shall let the organizer of that tourney speak on to that sort of event. Nevertheless, I thank everyone so much for watching on YouTube. Catch us live if you can. And yeah, keep cool, drink water, take care of yourselves.
All right, then last before me, Charlie.
What a finale! Ooh. Bad decisions abound. What would I like? I think Matilda would go to destroy the ship and realize that she can't, because there's a lot of people on board that she doesn't want destroyed. And I think it would dawn on her that there may be a better way to do this, and that there are better things that she needs to be doing. So my idea is that she will not end up destroying the ship, but she will do all she can to keep the artifacts from going to whatever that place is, and keep it away from the Chaos Lords below. But until we find out what she does do, and if she finds Donnie horribly murdered in a cabin somewhere, because I'm waiting for it. I am waiting for him to turn up dead one day. You can find me at Frost and Fire on the Twitters. I have a whole schedule of things. You'll find me next here on Encounter Roleplay on Wednesday in the 2 p.m. Eastern slot, when we continue our journey through Elysium in Cult RPG. It's a lot of fun. It's a really cool crew. Lindy, who just resubscribed, is in it, and I can't wait for that. And as Jason mentioned, on Thursday, July 25th, on RPG Webby, we have a charity tournament raising money for Mermaids UK, which is a transgender and gender diverse support, education, and all of that good stuff for young people. It's going to be big. We've got some giveaways to do there too. So if you're not busy, please do pop by. 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UK. We've got a lot of champions, including Jonathan Fry, who I believe is lurking somewhere in chat, Jason, and the rest of the Afterfire crew as well. Bastian, how was that for you? Did you have fun?
It was great. I had a lot of fun. For today, I had, again, like last time, a couple of things in mind to do. I did have a plan for where you would end up, depending on what would happen on the way. It was lovely to get a viewer decision back in from chat, and I really loved that they actually went back on getting Stefania in. That means you love the character to me. So yeah, I'm happy that got voted. Yeah, we will look into wrapping up the story, no matter how we do it. So keep an eye on that. Lovely group of people to play with. For me, it's like every session has been really great, and it's almost as if every time you're like raising the bar and looking to get that quality again. But with the four of you, I didn't have that anxiety is not the correct word for this, but more like pressure. So that feels really good. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. And great characters, great interactions. Yeah, and you can find me online. And I'll just type where you can find me online, because I do technology behind this channel. Everything you see is running on servers somewhere here behind me, and coming to you every season. So I will be around. I might we'll see if I'm on the air next season, but I'll be in chat for sure. Yeah, that's it.
This is Finales Week here on Encounter Roleplay, so do be sure to check out all of the streams that are coming up this week. A lot of them are finales for the season. The new season, I believe, will be starting in September, but throughout August, I'm sure there will be one-shots and all such for you to check out. Bastian, if you can pick that winner for me, we'll give away some dice here. And coming up next in about 40 minutes here on Encounter Roleplay, we have the Learn to Play Ravnica Unleashed group and their season finale. So stick around. Check that out when that comes up very soon with DM Corey. Congrats to oh, sweet! Congratulations. Is it Sweet? No, not Sweet. Lindy! I misread the thing.
Oh,
But Sweet,
yeah, sorry.
congratulations on
Yeah.
being here all season.
All right.
Because you've
I
been an
misread.
amazing part of this audience. We all misread, but
did
that's
it say
okay.
did it say in chat? Oh yeah. So it's basically like a system message,
That's
and
it.
then we have Lindy. That is one. Yeah, perfect.
I read the wrong one. I was like, Sweet Potato
Yeah,
trying to get Mustang.
All right.
My
So
bad.
and what's up in 40 minutes or so? I think the next show.
40 minutes or so is Ravnica Unleashed, Learn to Play with DM Corey. Right now, I am going to run away because I have a Pirates game in about 15 minutes that I need to get to. But please do stay tuned. Check out all of the goodness here on Encounter Roleplay. Check out all of these wonderful people around me. And until next time, try not to roll too many nat ones because we want to be there laughing when you do. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye bye.